eternal night. Heroes from across worlds stand and unite. No other foe or force can match their might. The once great people of this world now hide in fear. All Achilles shaken by the power of sword and spear. The black-clad armies of the Dark One now draw near. But in the distance, the sergeant and the bear appear. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Legions of Romans stand and let their arrows fly. The roaring of dragons and machines fills the sky. Secret agents and the generals they defy. Swarms of orcs and samurai raise their banners high. In the wake of death, only one man stands alone. The sergeant raises his sword, high silver shone. He condemns the chaos worn on his soul. He stands longing for the day he may return home. Great heroes of past and law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Until the war for the world springs is won, they will fight until they're all done. But a hero will stand alone as one, and the bloodshed is finally done. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation. Great heroes of past the law, no power has seen before. We spread far across the sky, marching across the great divide to save the world from deterioration, to end the age of annihilation, 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 to end the age of annihilation.
And so it appears like this particular age of annihilation is coming to an end. Welcome to ToV Live! It is Valhalla time! And we are tonight reading through Scenario 12, released by Renegade this week. They actually had a Gen Con. Can't wait to be reading through this. This is like almost like the summation of what's been happening like in the last 11 scenarios. And we get to read it tonight with Renegade dropping it last week. And the air conditioning's still going because it's still blimey hot outside. I've got the fan going. The air's going to probably be going on and off. Hi, I'm Ryan, aka Tales of Valhalla, the guy who does like stop motion animation of Heroscape, and soon to be other miniature war games too in the future. So yeah, lots of fun. I'm gonna need a new intro song. I know the fella who made the intro song that you guys just listened to needs to revise it, like Guardians of the Citadel or something, you know, needs to be made up. But yes, we need to probably think of that if this is the case. I don't. When it comes to this particular scenario, it was released in Gen Con. I was planning to play a scenario type, tournament game thing that they had, but I ended up going to the semifinals and the championship, and so I wasn't able to be in my time slot for this scenario. So yeah, so I kind of missed it. Now they still did screenshots of this particular scenario. I kind of glanced at the lore, the journal entries a little bit, but only a little bit. I didn't read fully into it. I wanted to save that for tonight. So we're gonna get into that. But isn't that a nice picture? That was embalmed on our that was shown on our T-shirt for championship entry. You get a T-shirt, and that was on the T-shirt. Got Levitek, you got Utgar. Very interesting that well, here I'll show you. Utgar is seen right here on the old Valhalla map. That's Utgar right there. And so we have Utgar there. See, the spear is the same. See that spear? That kind of the axe spear he has. Like, she's got a golden axe. He's got kind of like a silverish dark axe, and it's the same axe right here. I just picked up on that. How cool is that? Anyway, guys, we're going to be reading through this scenario tonight, as well as the lore in a few minutes. I know I said 9:30, so I am online a little bit early tonight. So I'll give it a couple of more minutes for people to filter in if they want to, and give my take on it, because my take might not be altogether positive about this, depending on what the outcome is. And I kind of know what the outcome is already for this, but at the very least we can say it seems like this is coming to an end, the story arc. Although I think there's still going to be a lot of plot holes left open, and we'll talk about that, I suppose, as soon as we get into this scenario. Major Midnight says, I was thinking that it was Taylord. Nice catch with the battle axes. Oh yeah. No, I knew this was Utgar. And Utgar's just, you can see the wingspan of Utgar compared to the wingspan of Levitek, and they really do the art for Levitek really nicely here. And the axe as well. But you can see how much smaller she is compared to Utgar. But I can also see something with the swish of this blade, how she kind of severed this wing. I don't know if she severed his arm with it, or if it just took the top of the wing. But that's a very interesting hit. Whatever dice she rolled, it was all skulls, and he rolled not many shields. So yeah, there is that. So yeah, we're gonna get into that. And one other thing too, I guess, for those of you who are just starting listening to the stream, if you're not going to get to the end of it, I'm thinking of what I'm going to do stream for Sunday. I'm thinking of something simple. I could either paint, I could work on some editing stuff. I'm almost done with Season 1. We'll release Season 1 hopefully within the next couple of weeks. I don't know how much fanfare I'm going to do, but it will lead into opening up the Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel, or Tales of Valhalla channel, to another social media platform or another video media platform, to where in the future I'll be streaming in not just Twitch and YouTube, but another one, a third one. And so that'll be fun. That'll be exciting. Hopefully get the reach out there, and maybe possibly with the eventual podcast actually make a little money on this other platform, because this other platform might be easier, because you use lesser numbers yet still get some traction. So we'll see. But so yeah, for the Sunday I could paint. I want to keep it casual either way. I could paint I could do like the re-edits of season 1 or season 2 if I'm already done with season 1, or I could do some source golf actually. Now I don't have like the Adventure Together stuff in the mail yet, but I bought some dice because I was like I had the source golf itch. I already have the rule book on my phone, and there was just a couple of dice I needed. I have a proxy for like the golf hole that you need, as well as golf balls, and so I could potentially do that and just do some proxy source golf skirmishes too. So I might leave it as like up to a vote on the Tales of Valhalla Discord and here on YouTube, and then I'll just leave it to your guys' votes for Sunday. But yeah, there's multiple things I can do Sunday because it'll be like a light week next week for stuff. So yeah, so I'll probably talk about that at the end of the stream too. But Dan, hi Dan, there in the chat says, I kind of wish all the generals were kept unseen like how I did Tales. I know in the first comment they had Jandar in the original commercial. Yeah. It's like, we might talk about that. I'll talk about that when we get into the lore. It's because I think actually the take on Ukkar, because Ukkar wasn't mentioned much during these scenarios. It was trying to heal the other Kyrie generals, and you had this little side storyline with Leviatak getting a bottle with the magic wellspring, or the poison wellspring in it. Obviously she used it. I mean, in that particular scenario I animated for Renegade earlier this year, so that's interesting for the Leviatak storyline. But besides that, there wasn't much mention about Utkar at all. So just for him to come at, and then Revna attacks him, and now Leviatak is attacking. So it's like there was war on him, and then there's civil war in there. I mean, it's interesting, but it's kind of like, okay, what about the rest of, like, what about everybody's poisoned? Who gets healed? Maybe we'll see that in the upcoming scenarios. Who knows? But let's see here, Dan chose it. Major Minute, yes, I think imagining Vidar gives me chills, especially after his Kiri was released. Yeah, we got a little bit of that. I mean, there's mentions of them. Some are gone insane. Some are vanished. Like Vidar, we don't know where Vidar is. Like, we have no clue. So at least that's one thing, Dan, that they did. I mean, for my lore, for ToV lore, the generals are just not seen, period, because the wellsprings are gone, and so the power of the wellsprings that have embodied them just kind of made them vanish. So there's an air of mystery to that in the Tales of Valhalla canon. Major Minute says, we need Heroscape Golf for Customs first source golf. I don't know how that would work, but I'll show you what I'd do if we do that on Sunday. And Dan says that would be awesome. Megabubfish, hey Megabubfish, how you doing? It's nice that the generals are largely left to people's imaginations. However, if this is Utkar's final appearance, I like that we get to see him once. Well, yeah, it's a nice picture at the very least. A nice picture of him there. Hey, Brennan Nichols, how you doing? I just bought back into the game after an 11-year break. Wow. Got Age of Annihilation along with Wellspring, Snow expansion, Lands expansion, and The Grove. In a matter of a week, got the wife and all 3 kids playing. Well, if you were Brennan, I don't know how long you've been married. I mean, I'm married to my wife almost 16 years now. If you've been keeping busy, getting those kids out and then growing them up to play Heroscape, I can understand the pause. It's taken me nearly 15 years to make Tales of Valhalla, so I interacted with Heroscape stuff a lot. I just didn't play it too much in the last, 15 years. But welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. I think this is your first time here. And Dan says, but he also fought off 4 other generals, and now he can't fight an assassination attempt. And some pirates? Exactly. So we'll get into this lore in a second. And Brendan Nichols also says, I know I'm off topic, but I listened to your podcast driving back from vacation for hours. As soon as I got home, I was sold. Well, I appreciate you, Brendan. Thank you very much. Appreciate the game coverage. I'm personally working on a Diablo 2 campaign for Heroscape. That would be kind of cool. I mean, I'm not really familiar with Diablo. I know it's a video game, but that would be interesting because some of the stuff that Renegade might be releasing in the future is like there's like a demon-like creature that'll eventually be released next year that they kind of showcased at Gen Con. So yeah, that would be interesting. I personally would like some type of demon monster type things or demon monster factions. That would be interesting. Anyway, okay, I'm going to be ignoring the comments for a second, even though I think the comment section might be lively tonight. And I'm going to do, for those of you who are new here, when I read scenarios or first looks, I go through first the lore parts or the journal entry parts, read through them once without comment, and then go through them a second time with my commentary. And then after I'm done with that segment, then I'll move on to the scenario part of the scenario and have that be its own segment. And this is kind of an interesting it's like double bound here. And we'll go to this part. So that's how I usually do things. So no, but you're fine, Brendan. Whatever you want to say, but like I said, I might take a pause in commenting, and we're just going to get into the lore segment of this. So here we go, along with the air conditioning going on in the background because it's still summer, it's still hot. All right, so let's do this. All right, scenario 12, Vengeance for Valhalla. And the first lore bit is Sealed Missive from Raylan, the Kiri warrior, 9th of Eldrig. And she looks like she's riding a Jandar. Or Yandar, if you prefer. I can offer no apology for what I have done, for I am firm of conviction that my deception and any evils wrought from it served our truer goal. I alone will bear the memory, the sorrow, the guilt, and the nightmares of my deeds, and I aim to rain retribution upon those who brought us to this desperate gambit. I regret only the grief I have undoubtedly inflicted on such an undeserving soul as your own. Utgar's enemies gather on his doorstep. He is weakened, desperate, and failing in the grip of the wellspring poison. Discord reigns among his closest advisors. It is time. I have ascended into the night to Drake's camp. Somehow, despite everything, that God's blessed human claims to have never doubted my true allegiance. Sonlen, Shiori, and the Major were more apprehensive, but Velsa's approval swiftly assuaged their suspicions. They're using hard words here. We must strike quickly before Utgar's army realizes I am missing. Before first light, we will infiltrate the palace and bring the dread Valkyrie to his knees. I am confident this will work. His arrogance will be his downfall. His armies are busy holding the foothills of the Kyrian peaks, and all but his closest lieutenants have been drawn away from his fortress. We will sever the head from his armies and rein in the wriggling remains. There are factions within Utgar's court which are capable of diplomacy and some small measure of compassion. They will see reason. Shall I fall into battle, entreat the warrior levy attack, and they will see reason. I have to reread that. There are factions within Utgar's court which are capable of diplomacy and some small measure of compassion. They will see reason. Should I fall in battle, entreat the warrior levy attack, and offer her your grace. We have formed a comradeship these past months. Your hopes for Valhalla may align more than you would suspect. With fullest loyalty, Raylan Gerda Gerdas Dotir, Warrior of Jandar. I need Jeremy's help with this. There's a lot of names, and I know there's stuff below here. All right, so that was before the battle, and this is after the battle. So we're kind of skipping ahead, like we're doing the scenario, but this is two different paths, two different possibilities in times. This is how I see it. Vision of Defeat. If players 3 and 4 win, read this. The obsidian gates of Utgar's fortress swing open as Utgar himself strides forth, twice as large as any Kiri. The madness of the poison that courses through his veins has only made him more ferocious. Leviatak flies at Utgar first, but he catches her before her golden axe can strike him. Her spined armor buckles in the mad Valkyrie's grasp as he casts her down against the mountainside. Raylan screams and flies towards him, but with one sudden strike of Utgar's mighty glaive, Raylan, the Kiri warrior, falls. Yikes. So this guy just goes foom and foom. Wounded and limping, Drake and the others recover her body and flee down the lava flows to the foothills where their forces lie shattered. Though the war will continue, hope for victory has died with Raylan this day. Whoa. And so that's called Vision of Defeat. And then if players 1 and 2 win, Vision of Vengeance. This is interesting. Raylan and Leviatak burst through the massive doors into Utgar's throne room, while the others form a perimeter outside, preventing Utgar's remaining minions from flying to his aid. Utgar looks up, eyes wild from the madness of the poison Leviatak planted in his wellspring, and snarls with rage as he begins to understand the betrayal before him. He snatches up his glaive as both Kiri warriors fly towards him. Raylan goes high, aiming for his chest, and he deflects the twisted blade of her spear. But Leviatak goes low with a golden axe, rips a gash in Utgar's leg. He rises to block Raylan's next strike, but Leviatak tackles the massive Valkyrie through the black windows of the throne room into a free fall toward the flaming lake of lava beyond. For those waiting outside, several long moments pass before Raylan, bruised and bloody, triumphantly kicks open the front doors of the palace. Behind her stands Leviatak, holding aloft a great horned helm and a massive severed black wing. The house of Utgar has a new master. Interesting. This describes like actually 3 moments, 2 versions of the outcome of a battle, and then before the battle. So let's go back before the battle first. And let me see. Okay, let me catch up with chat too. Because then maybe okay. Okay, I'll catch up with the chat in a second. Let me just say what I gotta say here. Because I think it's just talking about campaign between Dan and Brennan. Okay, that's fine. All right. So this is an interesting take from Raylan. Okay, so Raylan, she wasn't evil after all. Who'd have known? Well, I'll tell you guys something. I can say this now because since I kind of was under NDA with Renegade to make the short last year, I kind of was privy to this information about Raylan. So I kind of already knew what was going to happen. I just had to keep it under wraps until it was actually released. So I could say I kind of already knew that Raylan was going to go in this direction. through darkness, she overcomes. So I kind of already knew the outcome of this, but I think people kind of already did anyway. But I kind of knew like last year. So this is interesting. And it says, Jandar, I can offer no apology for what I've done, for I'm firm of conviction that my deception and any evils wrought from it served a truer goal. The ends justify the means. Now, guys, I'm not going to be 100% positive on this lore, much to probably my friend Jeremy's dismay. There's a lot of story points here, a lot of story beats in with this, which I actually kind of disagree with. I'm just perfectly honest. Now, I'm not going to argue to the point and say that Renegade's wrong for doing this and they should change something. It's entirely their story. They're free to do with what they want to do with it, and I mean, I'll take it. I'll work with it. Whatever. This is their main canon. That works for me. Maybe I do storytelling just a little bit differently, and that's fine. So I don't mind Raylan having an arc, but she can offer no apology for what I've done, for I'm confident that deception and evils wrought from it served a truer goal. Like, more like, it's like a end justifies the means position. If she's still trying to maintain that she's good, that's kind of terrible for an arc. For someone who's a good arc, you might. There are people who like spies or whatever, go undercover and have to work with people that do terrible things, and you might have to end up doing terrible things yourself in order to get to a truer goal of doing things. But there's certain lines you don't cross. And as she has, you cross over into a point to where it's hard to come back from that. Dan saying, I did a podcast with Jeremy where he hinted that she changed sides, but that she changed her wings, meaning she has a symbol of her evil. Well, I think her red wings have always been red. They've just been armored in the past, the versions of her that we've seen. So that maybe means there's like a little bit of like, there's always been a hint of evil in her, maybe, I don't know. Might be due to the fact that a Taylor murdered her father and the rest of her village. Like, yeah, that might be a thing. Or it might be always a little bit of darkness in her. But I don't know. I mean, I just think back 20 years ago. Raylan for me has always been a symbol of. I mean, she always had grit, but not like stepping into like I'm gonna murder babies, type of attitude. Even though I don't think that's what she was doing, but she's willing to step in and yeah. Anyway, but this is just me reading one sentence, so let me just continue. I alone will bear the memory, the sorrow, the guilt, and the nightmares of my deeds, and I aim to rain retribution upon those who brought us to this desperate gambit. So, and I think it's her, like, I think at the title at the end too, revenge. Revenge is not a protagonist concept. It's an antagonist concept in a story. And I wish we saw how dark she would go. I mean, it's hinted in this. I mean, we'll see. It's one thing for a character like to fall, to actually turn like be good, and then fall like down in places that like a hero character would never go, a protagonist character would never go, and end up becoming an antagonist. But then having an arc to where there is what is it? Not forget, like retribution or whatever. Anyway, I regret only the grief I have undoubtedly inflicted on such an undeserving soul as your own. So she does show regret that she had to basically break Yandar's heart for that. Ukar's enemies gather on his doorstep. He is weakened, desperate, and failing in the grip of the wellspring poison. Now, this is an interesting way. So Lovey Attack, again, got this poison wellspring water from the pirate. And this is another thing. We don't know what happens in the pirate story arc. Like, okay, who is leading the pirates? Who is creating this wellspring water? We haven't gotten that arc completed yet. So there is that. I mean, that's what this kind of started with the pirates, and we're still no closer to finding a cure at all, which is like it turned into Sonlen's hunt for finding the cure, and then voila, Revna is attacking Ukar, civil war in Ukar, and this is the close of this. So yeah, it's a little confusing, but at the same time, I'm not saying this isn't cool. It is an interesting way to bring someone down, but again, if Ukar has been thrown down like this, and it will take it to, I think was it Dan that you said it? Let me scroll back up here in the chat. I think it was you that said it. That Ukar was it's you, Dan. He also fought off 4 of the generals, but now he can't fight an assassination attempt and some pirates. Well, it's not just an assassination attempt, because it's not pirates that we're going up against Ukar. I'm sorry, I hit my mic. It is Revna that was fighting against Ukar, so their forces are weakened because Revna. I mean, like you have bugs, you have Isonex, you have undead that Revna is like throwing against Ukar. So I can see how the might of Revna going up against Ukar can weaken his forces a lot, and then him being poisoned into madness is also probably destroying him from the inside out from his own like practically general Lovey Attack, who's meant to be on his side. But again, this is something else though, leading through fear. So I see this kind of like, it's kind of like parallel, say, with, if we're going to go to Star Wars, like the Emperor Palpatine. I'm talking about original trilogy. I'm not talking about the other stuff. Just original trilogy. Palpatine led his people through the Force. Actually, if you read Timothy Zahn's trilogy, which is now Legends trilogy, he actually, like, Palpatine led a lot of his like his empire through the Force, but also fear. So that's a lot of what Ukar's doing. He's leading through like might and fear, and as soon as like weakness is shown, lesser, stronger beings, evil or otherwise, are going to sense that weakness and start pouncing on him. So in that aspect of the story, okay, I understand it. I might not agree with it, but I understand it. So let's see here. Discord reigns. Okay, it is time. Yeah, I've absconded. Is that absconded or ascended? I don't know. There's a couple of words here that are interesting that I have to look up later. In the night to Drake's camp. Now, this is part of the story that I am 100% good about. Somehow, despite everything, that God's blessed human claims to have never doubted my true allegiance. This is one part with Drake Alexander in this story that I absolutely love. There could be no truer individual example like Drake Alexander, and it shows right here that I think even if Raylan put a spear through his chest, he would still believe in her. That unyielding trust in this character is something, in a protagonist, it's something that I love so much. So that's cool. And we got the gang back together here, which is another thing I love. Sonlen, Shiori, and the Major, who had his own, the Major Q11 has his own particular very interesting story arc, were more apprehensive, but Velsa's approval swiftly assuaged their suspicions. So Velsa, which is Sonlen's dragon, basically can tell the intentions of somebody, I believe. I think that's in the lore. And so that made everybody comfortable with the fact that, okay, this Raylan isn't just trying to, get our guard down. She's actually was on our side to begin with. So we must strike quickly before Utgar's army realizes I am missing. And so also during this period, remember back in like previous scenario, she had taken out Chemo Shi. So whatever was quote unquote trying to control her, whatever the amulet that was controlling her, that Chemo Shi had, was shattered. So and she just basically overcame that, and overcame Chemo Shi, or Chemo Shi's mind just got shattered from the fact that Raylan overpowered that, and so Raylan's like time had to before Utgar realized that Chemo Shi had lost control of Raylan and was like out of commission. Raylan needed to act. So let's see here. What's going on here? Let me see. And I'll go through, guys, because I think you guys are talking about other scenario possibilities. I'll go through that in a little bit after I'm done with this. Let's see. Dan says, I see what you mean, Ryan. I wish we saw her crossing those lines and maybe fighting. It would be a fun thing to animate. I wish we saw how dark she'd go, her readjusting. Could be a new arc. Yeah, I mean, her dealing with the fact that she had to do bad things to get to where she is could make her a different type of character. Brendan says, I think it's her mindset of mercy breeds rebellion. Constant wars turned her from defending weakly to trying to spearhead the inevitable. I can see that, Brendan. Yeah, right. I hear you. If you lead through fear, you get overthrown. You see it with dictators all the time. Yeah, it's a classic antagonist story arc. It just that's what happens. That's just how things are. That's how it's written. And kind of killed Chemo Shi, or we don't know killed. She's just out of commission, and she's been kind of killed / taken out of commission before. And Derek says, and yeah, we'll get to that, Derek, in a second. Let me read through this because I think I agree with you. But we'll read this. Okay, there are factions in Utgar's court which are capable of diplomacy and some small matters are compassion. Okay, now this is something I kind of disagree with. I'm just saying. They will see reason. Should I fall in battle, entreat the warrior Leviatak and offer her your grace? We have formed a comradeship these past months. Your hopes for Valhalla may align more than you would suspect. With fullest loyalty, Raylan Gerda's Dotir. It's cool that we got her last name here. That's kind of a cool thing that we know her full name. I just need to know how it's pronounced. Warrior of Jandar. So there you go. Now she shows her full alliance. She'd never be able to be a spy again because now we know what her alliance is. She can't play double agent anymore. But with this, look, I can see how Leviatak, okay, taking over Utgar, and I can understand also because they kind of built this with Leviatak's arc, talking about how with other, I think it was other pirates, that Leviatak fought in, I think it was Utgar's. I think it even mentions this. It mentions this in past lore because at least my poor memory kind of remembers it, to where Leviatak was in like the battle pits, like the battle arenas that Utgar would have to see who's the strongest, and people would die through this stuff and be like severely injured, go through a lot of grit and killing just for Utgar's enjoyment. So I can see how Leviatak would bear a grudge against him, and I think Taylord also like suffered a lot under Utgar. So that would give another reason for Leviatak to like hate Uthgar as well. Now, Leviatak, I don't think is any spring chicken, and Leviatak is definitely never going to be a Raylan. But let's just put it this way: it could be a reason for Leviatak to have maybe a protagonist arc or a hero from antagonist to protagonist type of arc. I just don't know if I like it, because you are the faction of what is Uthgar is the entire embodiment of what it means to be a villain, a bad guy. And I feel like if Leviatak is taking over leadership and there's any type of like kumbaya moment, with Jandar and Leviatak, it just lessens the strength evil value of Uthgar's faction. So it gives me that it just makes me feel kind of meh. I mean, like I said, Renegade can do whatever they want to do with it. That's fine, and it might lead to something down the road. And I hit the microphone again. It can lead something down the road that might end up being quite good. Again, this is just a segment of a story that we know, but for me, I have misgivings about it. Let's see here. Dan Taylor, but wasn't Taylor loyal? Yeah, I might misremember that. It might be that actually. Leviatak hated her father. It might be that too. Either way, it gives her a reason to hate Uthgar more, because it's like, okay, you're loyal to Uthgar and you're treating me like crap. Okay, so it's one of those two things. So, all right, now let's go down to this. So, like, there's some good things. There's some not good things about this, but overall, at least we're moving forward with this. Yes, it may be her Chabelles, but if her dad is loyal, it doesn't check out. Yeah. Like I said, yeah, Leviatak I think has a lot of hate, a lot of hate. She's a leading. Like, yeah, it could go that way. All right, so Vision of Defeat. Now, this is actually quite interesting. The Vision of Defeat. It's like multiple paths. It's like a multiverse type thing. The obsidian gates of Uthgar's fortresses swing open as Uthgar himself strides forth, twice as large as Inikiri. The madness of the poison that courses through his veins has only made him more ferocious. So it's like backfire plan. it's like okay, what's plan B? Leviatak flies at Uthgar first, but he catches her before her golden axe can strike him. Takes her by the neck. Her spined armor buckles in the mad Valkyrie's grasp as he casts her down against the mountainside. That actually reminds me of Lord of the Rings a little bit, as when Gandalf is describing his fight against the Balrog. Only it's not so good in this aspect. Also, and I think also with Raylan actually joining with Leviatak too, it's more like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so I can understand that to a degree. So I will say that. So Raylan screams, "My new friend!" and flies towards him with one sudden strike of Uthgar's mighty glaive. A lot of new words tonight. Raylan, the Kiri warrior, falls. That's so it's like just a sudden strike, and Raylan is dead. Oh my goodness, that think of that storyline. That would make Valhalla just feel that empty. But wouldn't that be actually an interesting move to go in the story, to where, guys, Raylan is gone. She's gone. She's dead. That would be one way to go. Wounded and limping, Drake and the others recover her body and flee down the lava flows to the foothills where their forces lie shattered. Though the war will continue, hope for victory has died with Raylan this day. Actually, that's like a Warhammer 40k type of way to go. you know, for that type of arc, for Raylan to do what she had to do and then pay the price, and Leviathan pay the price for everything that they've done, good or bad, whatever her intentions were, yet she showed her loyalty to Yandar at the end, but at the same time dies. That's an interesting outcome. Yeah, and Dan, you're right, Dan. If Raylan died, that would be real stakes. Actually, that would be, like I said, that would be an interesting way to go. I don't think they're going to do that, but it would be a very, like, Empire Strikes Back type of, like, actually it'd be worse. It would be more crushing than Empire Strikes Back. It would be absolutely devastating to them, but I mean, it would be taking you to a spot that you never imagined, and then, okay, how do you build back from that? How do you recover from that? You still got characters in there. Maybe another Kiri could take her place, like Kelda. Yes, Tails, please animate that. Oh my goodness, you're asking so much of me, and I'm so broke. That would be interesting though. Like animating two different versions of the outcome. I'd have to see. That would be one death that would be interesting, because those would be interesting stakes. Anyway, I think about it, as a storyteller, that would be interesting, because it does say, does Leviathan die? It doesn't really say that. It just says Raylan dies, so it could be a one where Leviathan takes the place of Raylan eventually. Yeah, just cast her down, get some outside, so she's just thrown out. Dan says yes, please. Think about that. Just like say, okay, this is the dark version of where Valhalla could go, and for Tales of Valhalla, I go that direction where Raylan dies. That would be interesting. Anyway, okay, this one, Vision of Vengeance. Visions of Vengeance, like I said, vengeance is not a protagonist concept. So that's the first problem I have with this, like Derek is saying. And I'll get to your comments in a second, Derek. Thank you for coming on, Derek. It's good to see you. And okay, Derek says, of course Leviathan doesn't die. We're trying to be forced to like her as much as Renegade. Well, look, Leviathan, I mean, I don't mind Leviathan's arc, and if Raylan were to die, actually, if you make that main canon and Leviathan takes her place, okay, I can see that. I mean, we'll have a fun time for the rest of our lives spelling that name, typing it out, because you have to put the 2 dots above the A at the end. There's that headache, but you can make it work. But it's just, okay, vengeance. It's just vengeance against Ukkar. If we're thinking it from Raylan's perspective, that is not a protagonist concept. And Raylan's friends might be loyal to her, but there's a seed of darkness now inside of her there. There could have been another way to do this. But okay, let's just read through this. Raylan and Leviathan burst through the massive doors into Ukkar's throne room, while the others form a perimeter outside, preventing Ukkar's remaining minions from flying to his aid. Ukkar looks up, eyes wild with the madness of the poison Leviathan planted in his wellspring. Breach. And so this is not Plan B. Plan A works. So the 20-sided die was cast, and Leviathan got her frickin' 20. And then Antonio says, "Don't talk about my girl that way, Derek." Yeah, that's right, my lady. Oh, I mean, look. Okay, I don't know what you have to say about Leviathan. That is a good art design of Leviathan right there. She kind of looks semi-hot, Renegade brainwashed, yeah. Yeah. But okay, so it's quite a fight scene though. I mean, it's very fast, but just like the previous one. But this is very nice. Although it doesn't match. Actually, I noticed it doesn't match this. Like, cuts his wing. Okay, seriously. Okay, actually, kind of does. I forgot what I said. Okay. So he snarls with rage. He begins to understand the Batera before him. So he's going mad, but he understands. He's got enough of his brain power to understand that Leviatak betrayed him, poisoned him. He probably heard about the poisonings of the other Valkyrie generals, so now he's understanding that she really betrayed him. Angry, but he's also confused because this poisoned wellspring water weakens you. He snatches up his glaive as both Kiri warriors fly towards him, so element of surprise here. Raylan goes high, aiming for his chest, and he deflects the twisted blade of her spear, but Leviatak goes low, and her golden axe rips a gash in Utgar's leg. I mean, Utgar's a big dude, so she's trying to aim for something. Gets his leg. He rises to block Raylan's next strike, but Leviatak tackles the massive Valkyrie through the black windows of the throne room into freefall, toward the flaming lake of lava beyond. So they just go, okay, take a tumble down. And kind of like slashing like this. So she could be slashing and then just grabs him and severing that wing and more of that leg, and they just tumble down. Okay, I can see it. For those waiting outside, so we see that. See them tumbling down, and the next shot would be everybody else standing outside of the gate. They're not seeing what's going on. There's just noise happening. And then several long moments pass before Raylan, bruised and bloody, triumphantly kicks open the front doors of the palace. Behind, sorry, I'm doing sound effects. Behind her stands Leviatak, holding aloft a great horned helm. Okay, does that mean his head or just his helm? He's got the helm, so maybe it's just that helm crown. And a massive severed black wing. The House of Utgar has a new master. Okay, so let's talk about this. Now, it doesn't specifically say, now it was pretty clear in this one, defeat, that Raylan's dead. This one's not so clear. It doesn't say. And if you read into any story, if it doesn't say that the person's dead, even if it does say they're dead, sometimes they're not dead. They could be mostly dead. But there's a big difference between being mostly dead and all dead. You guys remember your pop culture references here. So for those waiting outside, so if this is the outcome, not as much stakes, but I don't think reading this that Utgar is dead. And now when I say that, if Utgar is dead, I think that will be the biggest mistake that Renegade will have done throughout this entire process of relaunching this game. He's only half dead. Exactly, Brennan Nichols. Okay, you're with me. You're with me, Brennan. Exactly. But that would be the biggest mistake, to kill off Utgar totally. Utgar is such an established villain character, and I don't mind him, like his throne, his position being totally defeated, and then he rises up later and like bigger and stronger than before. Maybe even like with this severed wing, he gets like a mechanical wing and just gets that much stronger, and maybe someday like confronts Leviatak again and just totally owns her. That would be nice. But to like if it is the position of Utgar just being totally dead, that would be such a big mistake. You do not kill off your main antagonists in this way. It's too soon, too fast. I like how everything is. I like how he's tossed down. But if it's like there's no Utgar after this, I think just personally, I think that would just be a mistake, and I think that would be a big mistake. Because what would the cards be then? Leviatak faction instead of Utgar faction? Like, that's a lot more text to put on a card. So, just saying. House of Utgar though has a nice ring to it. But I personally think, and this I don't know. I'm not on any day because I don't know. But personally, I think that Utgar is not totally dead, because I think there's just be a big mistake, and he's just wounded. He's off crawling like Sauron, is like the ring gone, but there's still part of him, that's still alive. He's still wandering around and just regrouping until later for revenge, and that would be a great. Now, talk about vengeance. This shouldn't be Vision of Vengeance. This should be Vision of another word, but vengeance would be on Utgar's side, like Utgar coming back, like maybe like 2 or 3 years later, like going down like this Renegade storyline, where he rises back and he's got like mechanical wings and he's got different types of evil type forces. He really gets like demon forces or whatever, and there's ways to do that. There's ways to do that, for him to return. So I think that would be much better, making him even greater than he was before, to really fulfill that villain arc. That would be great. So I hope, and that's the case with Raylan. Let's see here. So yeah, when it comes to Derek saying, where is it? I'm not a fan of Utgar is dead thing, mostly because the weird push for Levitak and Raylan friendship is pretty lame to me. And I was saying that early too. It seems kind of meh to me as well. Maybe there's an understanding between them, but if there's like a bonds of friendship like Raylan has with like Drake and others, then yeah, I think that's kind of meh. I kind of agree with you, Derek, in that. So I mean, it's bringing everything together. I understand from like the past 11 scenarios. So your deck says the strange obsession with Levitak also means this character that it seems only Renegade employees care about now has plot armor, story beats that will keep her at the forefront of the story. Maybe we'll see. She definitely is a lead character, and of course I had her as a lead. And well, not the main lead in the short that it did. Shiori was the main lead in that. So there is that. As far as I can remember, no fan of the game has been like, man, give me more of this Levitak story. Of course, Levitak does not die. We're trying to be forced to like her as much as... Okay, yeah, I already read that. I also take issue with Raylan and Derek. This is Derek again. I also take issue with Raylan suddenly being a character more so than Sergeant Drake Alexander. Craig Moness has always made Drake the main guy. Now it's Raylan, I guess. Well, I mean, they've had their share, and Raylan, like it wasn't Drake that decided to be double agent. It was Raylan. So we kind of had to see how that was going to go. In case it's not clear, I do not like Levitak. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You can't all like every character, And like I said, there's some things that I didn't like about this. There's some things I do like about it. It's a mixed bag. Again, we're only getting a portion of the story, and as Jeremy would remind me, Ryan, you're only seeing a portion of this. You don't see it where it goes. I'm like, okay, fine. That's fine. But what I know so far... so I just have to judge things off of what I know so far. And let's see here. Electronic Wings, he teams up with Vidar. It'd be cool. It'd be cool teaming up with Vidar. Yeah, we never got there. But okay. Overall, I give my judgment of this ending. I'd say like I'd say like 6, 7, or 6.5 out of 10. Let me just do half. 6.5 out of 10. Because it does bring a conclusion. It actually upends Utgar, and it'd be interesting to see like what antagonist arises. Would it be Revna? You know, Revna's just like, oh, thank you for making me innocent. Now I'm just going to slaughter y'all. I think it's making room for Revna's villain arc, which is fine. Which is fine. Have Revna like resurrect Cyprian Essenwine and have the Essenwines really like take over to fulfill that Essenwine prophecy. That would be great. Yeah, it's okay. I use some tech, but I don't. I mean, at the same time, I want to be straight too. I'm not gonna like. How would I put it? I'm not gonna try and overcompliment things that I don't like. Tactics for non-committed gamers. Damn. So yeah, 6.5. Like I said, there's just some story beats that I'm kind of meh on or disagree with on. There's some things I do like, and personally, I prefer the Vision of Defeat as opposed to the Vision of Vision of Vengeance. Only a little bit, just because it's like, okay, is now Leviatak going to sing Kumbaya with Jandar? I don't think that if there's going to be an alliance between Leviatak and Jandar, that it's going to be as buddy-buddy as maybe we think. And if Leviatak ends up ruling like that territory, and let's go back to the territory, where does Ukar reside? Utengard, right here. Where does Jandar reside? Nostraland, right here. Now the map might have changed, but this is basically the old map. So they're kind of close by. I think more up here. So this is where this battle is currently fighting for the scenario. If there might be peace, but I think it might be unstable because Leviatak's going to Leviatak, and not all people under Ukar's rule is just gonna like say, oh, okay, Leviatak is deciding to try and make peace with Jandar. Let's go join her, because there's some baddies within Ukar's ranks that are way more evil than I guess Leviatak, and they're not going to go along with it. So I imagine like factions disbanding, Ukar factions disbanding, or just doing their own thing, or maybe rallying under Ukar later on and not under Leviatak. So it's already going to be a weakened house. At least it's as far as I can see it. Hello, Bill Flint. Hey, I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you. So regardless, this is already, like, if they set up correctly, I don't see the House of Ukar under Leviatak is going to be all that strong. If she controls, and she can't really control the wellspring right now because it is poisoned. So it's so they still need to find a cure for the poisoning. So it's not going to be as strong, led under fear or otherwise, than it was. Yes, okay, Ukar's defeated. Dead or not, he is defeated. But that doesn't mean that Leviatak, like, everybody's going to follow Leviatak that was following Ukar, like, under her banner. That doesn't mean. So it's an outcome where it's like, it's going to start like an avalanche of many things just going to be scattered about. So yeah, that's what I see. I mean, Ukar being defeated, probably necessary, but the ramifications of this will be interesting. Derek says, Renegade said they commissioned an artist for the new map, and it was supposed to be the dice tray. From the images on the store, the colorized old map you have looks better. Yeah, isn't it though? And I had actually had. I'll talk about this later. But anyway, okay. Let me just close. So this lore part from, well, it's not from the pen of Sonlen. It's from the pen of Raylan and whoever had the visions to write both multiplicity storylines. Brendan says, Leviatak is going to be a new main character. My 2 cents as a newcomer returning. She seems designed to take front stage with the axe and armor and name, probably. But if they do anything, a good arc with her, like I said, House of Ukar is not going to be as strong under her leadership. They're just not going to follow. Everyone is not going to follow her, no matter how mighty she is. That's just my take. Maybe there's something coming with Secrets of the Citadel. I'm sure there is, and I'm sure like Scenario next month and month after probably explain more. But that's just how we see it right now. Yeah, Derek says I agree, Brendan, and I loathe it. Anyway, we'll end it with that. So that's taking a look first at the lore part of this Vengeance for Valhalla. Again, Vengeance, like I said, just leaves a meh taste. It should be something different. Vengeance, yes, that would be Lovey Attacks, but not Raylan's way. That'd be Lovey Attacks' way. And so I guess that goes with the picture, but not Raylan's way. That wouldn't be a protagonist concept. But anyway, that's taking a look at the Scenario 12 lore for Vengeance of Valhalla via Renegade, making things interesting. All right, so now let's go into the game portion of this. Let me take a quick break. Let me go back to, because this chat's lively chat tonight. I want to see what Brennan was talking about earlier coming in here tonight, real quick, about this campaign. So I think a Diablo story is what you're doing. Okay, so let me scroll back. Let's see here. And Mega Bugfish was saying it's nice generals were largely left to people's imaginations. However, if this is Ukar's final appearance, I like that we get to see him once. So I see him once, actually twice, because he is on the original map. And let's see here. Now, Brendan, okay, we're gonna go this. Appreciate the game coverage. I'm personally working on Diablo 2 campaign. Brennan, are you making scenarios, making new rules set, making Diablo story? Brennan says, my concept is to make a railroady path, currently in the shape of a W, like a start to finish. I have all 14 classes made up with some concepts that are pretty cookie cutter to the game. That's interesting. That sounds to me like something like Heroscape Adventures, like Joe Crazy is doing. Brennan, if you don't know Joe Crazy I think it's 3193, look up his channel. It should be like a link in the description for the podcast that you know. And he's doing this kind of like a D&D like game called Heroscape Adventures. It's very done. I've played it with him before, to where it's just like a D&D type of scenario that he uses. You might find that interesting. It might help you with your game as well. Just look at it. It's on his video somewhere. Let's see. With them being demon lords, I feel the ceiling at 13 is appropriate, making them all have one passive ability and 2 skills. Keep them flavorful. Interesting. Dan says that's so cool. So you have it set up like a D&D campaign. Very cool. Yes, with incentive. Points we tally up so the kids can spend them during Halloween for candy of their choice. Reset points for Christmas as well. They love it. Love listening to the lore. Cool. Let's see here. Yeah, it's cool that your kids are into it, Brennan. I'm excited for all the new terrain. I saw the ship, which looks cool. I'm ready to expand the collection already. I'm still learning, catching up from years of being absent. That's fine. Hey, Brendan, I don't know if you know, but the Tales of Valhalla YouTube channel, yes, we cover like Renegade stuff, we cover Heroscape stuff, and we get into like a little competitive and fun nature of playing the game. But primarily, Brendan, I am a stop motion animator. I'm a filmmaker. And so for the past like almost 15 years, I've done a series called Tales of Valhalla, The Aftermath Chronicles, which is a non-canon Heroscape storyline that I've worked on for like about 15 years. It's got 3 seasons worth. It follows the Airborne Elite as the main protagonist, and it involves in the time after, basically the timeline after the game's discontinued. I have a scenario to where the Wellsprings disappear, and there's like outcomes and repercussions from that. and it's meant to be kind of like a satire. So season 1 is very satire filled. Season 2 and season 3 get more interesting, and this is my season 1 is my first bit. How would I say, learning stop motion animation and storytelling. Season 2 and season 3 pick up the pace a little bit more. So I recommend, if you're going to start watching anything, start season 2, episode 1, season 2, to really get into it, and check those out if you want to be entertained. And kids can watch this. I made this series family friendly. My son, who is 7, started watching it when he was like 3 or 4, and loves certain episodes. He loves the one episode with the spiders. He loves the very beginning of season 2. So that's something your kids and family might be interested in watching. I'm currently trying to put, like, the seasons are 10 episode seasons, but I'm planning to edit them together and turning season 1, season 2, and season 3 into their own long form videos, so you don't have to like go from episode to episode. It can just be like one like big film. But I encourage you to watch them if you got the time. Let's see here. Okay, I think I caught up with that then. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I think I did. So let me catch up with back. Let's see here with the chat here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I think we're like here. Okay, Dan says, I feel like I'm between Derek and Brennan. Call me weak gamer, fence sitter. Okay, this is Dan. Brennan says, I foresee Raylan corrupting her alignment. Raylan could display enough vengeance and wrath to entice the swap. Yeah, we'll have to see where that character goes. I mean, I would have fun with it. And Brennan, like I said, with developing these characters, I have Raylan in her own type of arc in my series. A lot of these characters have an arc, even though it's like my script writing is not the best for seasons 1, 2, and 3, but you know, I worked and I improved, and season 3 I got really good near the end of it. And I'm currently writing for season 4. Bill Flint, remember there is G.I. Joe coming? Yes, there is, Bill. Those look interesting. Brennan says, Amazon Assassin, Barbarian, Crusader, Demon, Hunter, Monk, Paladin, Rogue, Warrior, Druid, Necromancer, Sorceress, Witch Doctor. Okay. Derek says, I was not excited at all for G.I. Joe, but I actually like the look of the preview terrain and the sculpts. Yeah, that toxic water looks really, really cool. That looks really, really cool. I'm more open to it now, especially since Scott G said the IP will never interfere with, yes, it would never interfere with the mainline Heroscape or the development of it. So that's really cool. Brennan says, oops, didn't space them apart. Those are the classes. I have all 5 acts, at least 5 turning points for quests. You've really worked. Brennan, you know, it might be interesting, cool to, if you go on heroscapers.com or go on Discord, even go onto the Tales of Valhalla Discord, if you're on Discord, and write down an article on that. People might be interested in playing that type of like D&T type sequence. You're welcome to post it like on the Tales of Valhalla Discord, my Discord, or even on Heroscapers Discord or Facebook. People might be interested in playing that out. If you can give the outline for it, that would be great. Bill Flint says, be right back. Brennan says, this is exactly what I'm here for. Thank you. Okay, cool. If you're talking about the stop motion animated stuff, that's great. And Bill Flint says back. Okay, cool. Brennan, if you want Joe Craze's info, you can email me. He was at a Heroscape tournament 2 weeks ago. Yeah. Joe's a great guy. Let's see here. Bill Flint says, I also did ToV myself, also did the intro for Renegade Con in winter of 2025. Yes, I did. He's a cool guy. Yeah, Joe Crazy is a cool guy, yep. Bill Flint says, I mean, G&J Krobo will be the new main bad guy. Yeah, I did like a near 4-minute short for Renegade Con earlier this year, and it was a stop motion animated short. It focused on one of the scenarios, and it was like a Shiori led type of scenario with Sonlen narrating. And this is on my channel too. let's see here. And we still got to read the scenario, guys, but I'm just catching. You guys are chatty tonight, which is just fine. I mean, Dolphin said, I mean, G.I. Joe Kroba could be the new main bad guy. I don't know if, like, the G.I. Joe, like, G.I. Joe might be, like, what Marvel is. They're part of the game, but they're not in the Valhalla universe, like, on Valhalla. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to go with that. They might be in Valhalla. I don't know. But they're just going to be playable together, I think. But I don't know where I heard that from, so that might not be where Renegade's going with that. Brendan says, yes, please, all the info to get into the loop of Heroscape. I love being the DM. I've been designated DM for about 13 years now, and story writing for a very long time. Very cool. I'll return to the Discord this weekend and scope it out. Yeah. If you want to, you know, I have a link, links in the description below here on YouTube. I have all my links on Facebook for the Tales of Valhalla Discord if you want to join there. Check it out, and really check out the series. I think your kids might like it if they're anything into Heroscape. Check the Tales of Valhalla series, any of the stop motion animated stuff. It's all on playlists. Just check out playlists. You'll see season 1, season 2, season 3. You'll see character introduction shorts. You'll see other shorts that I've done, including the one for Renegade. So yeah, definitely check those out. I mean, Cobra and G.I. Joe could be the new main foe to all the Valkyrie generals who would join to oppose. That would be interesting. G.I. Joe goes toxic water and may lead to toxic zombies. Oh yes, please, Steve M. How you doing, Steve M? I don't think I've seen you before either. That's just a different name. Welcome. Let's see here. Brennan says, how often are your I don't know if you're talking to me or not. Bill Fun, I just know that G.I. Joe will not block the current release of Heroscape. Okay, yeah. Who played this battle at Gen Con? This particular battle? Okay, well, let's read into it. All right, let's do that, because I'm kind of caught up with the chat. I was supposed to, Bill Flint. I was supposed to play this at Gen Con. I signed up for it. But, silly me, I had to advance to the semifinals of the World Championship, and I was doing that all day. So I ended up missing this scenario. So I did not do it, but Hexala did. So there's that. Okay. So let's look at the map first. It was a really cool map, though. I did see the map at Gen Con. This was really nice. So Fortress Utgar, and actually their castle terrain was like up high. It was like really high. Brennan, how often do I do live streams? Oh, that's what we're saying, live streams. How often do I do live streams? Every Wednesday, every Sunday, currently. Every Sunday and Wednesday night, usually around 9:30, I do live streams, unless I say so. Sometimes I take days and weeks off, of course, because I have family, you know, stuff happens. But typically, it's every Wednesday, every Sunday. And near the end of the stream, I'll talk about what I'll possibly be doing this Sunday. It's probably going to be a relaxing thing, because it takes time to prepare for this. I can't do like very thick stuff, every stuff, but it's always fun. So we'll talk about that after I'm done reading through this. Okay, Fortress Utgar. So we're going to be going through this scenario, and the scenario, of course, is Vengeance for Valhalla, scenario 12. Okay, and this gets kind of confusing with this multiple page thing. There wasn't this issue before with this, but okay. So using the map, Fortress Utgar. Required sets: Age of Annihilation, Master Set ×2, Fields of Valhalla, Terrain Pack 2. Oh, and that's 9:30 Wednesday and Friday Eastern Time, Brennan. Raylan Kiri Warrior, Age of Annihilation Jandar. Okay. So you need a Raylan, you need Lava Fields, you need Age of Annihilation ×2. So you need to buy 2 of these sets to make this work. For centuries, through Eras of peace and of destruction, a foreboding fortress built into an active volcano deep in the Carian Mountains has served as a stronghold of House Utgar. Surrounded by deadly lava flows, guarded by elite warriors, and with only one reasonable angle of approach, the fortress has never fallen to an enemy force. So this is Castle Utgar, so it's just a lot of lava. And who doesn't love a lot of lava? How many levels is this? That's a lot of levels. Okay, 7. And of course there's a levy attack, just giving her best shout. Yeah, it was a pretty nice set. Who doesn't like battling on a lava set? See, you've got like you got the lava rock monsters, you got minions, you got Taylord there, you got, yeah, and then you got the original team. So online scenario 12, the Vengeance for Valhalla master game. And there's Raylan right there. Open start, cannon start. Interesting. So you can either have open start where you can use whatever miniatures you want, or if you want to do regular cannon. And so you have one glyph, it's the disengage glyph. And then for cannon start, you have Raylan, Levy Attack, Sergeant Drake for player 1. Player 2 has Sonlen, Major Q11, Shiori. And so they're all gathered here. And then player 3 and player 4. So this is a four-player thing. Or if you want to do, you know, one player gets the other, I mean, potentially you can have just one player control player 1 and player 2s, and then another person do player 3 and player 4s. You got Taylord, Obsidian Guards, Mimring, Minions of Utgar. If you got all these, it's a chunk of change. It's a chunk of change. It says Raylan's long and arduous gambit under deep cover within Utgar's forces has come to an end. It's funny how Raylan was undercover and only she knew it. Like I said, her being redeemed, I don't know, that's iffy. Her closest friends and allies beside her, she launches an assault on Utgar's palace while the bulk of his army is distracted fighting a battle nearby. Today, Utgar falls. Actually, for my thing, like, everyone accepts Raylan back into the fold because, and I'm taking this from a certain YouTuber, because the script demands it. You know, it's like they're accepting her back into the fold because, well, you know, Drake still trusts her. Yeah, she might have slaughtered a lot of babies or whatever, but you know, Drake still trusts her. The plot demands it. So we're gonna accept that. Okay, I'm making too much fun. Let's see here. She launches an assault on Utgar's palace while the bulk of his army is distracted fighting the battle nearby. Today, Utgar falls. Go on. Player 1, Player 2 must get Raylan into the castle and take on Lord Utgar. Have fun storming the castle. You think they can do it? It'd take a miracle. Bye now. Bye. Okay. Into the castle to take on Lord Utgar before reinforcements arrive. Player 3 and Player 4 must destroy Raylan before she accomplishes her goal. You know what would have been really cool? Now I'm thinking about it. Wouldn't it be cool if, unbeknownst to everybody, that behind the scenes, Renegade was making a huge Utgar miniature unit? Wouldn't that have been incredible? Like an Utgar stat card that you could use to fight in this type of scenario, like boss battle type scenario. That would have blown me away. I don't care how much it would have cost. An Utgar mini. That wouldn't have been many. To have all your like armies fight up against an Utgar mini that give Utgar 10 life. I don't care. Give him the stats. That would have been incredible. That would have been like, forget all the lore stories. If they would have created a Utgar mini, kind of like what they did with Raylan, and had that available, like Raylan plus Utgar, you know, boxes. that would have sold me. I'd be like, okay, okay, never mind about the storylines or whatever, how you read it. Ukar Mini, I'm sold. They didn't do it though, but that would have been cool. Just saying. Just saying. Okay, player 3, player 4 must destroy Raylan before she accomplishes her goal. So Raylan's got to get through. Raylan's got to bust through the doors. Set up. Players decide who will be player 1, player 2, player 3, player 4. Each player drafts or brings a pre-made 420-point army that covers no more than 11 spaces in total. Player 1 and player 2's army must include both Raylan the Kiri Warrior and Raylan the Kiri Warrior Agent of Annihilation. So both Raylans. Okay. Interesting. Player 3's army must include at least one unique hero. No figure with the same name may be used more than one army. Player 1 player 2 are a team set up in the blue starting zone. Player 3 and player 4 are on a team set up in the brown starting zone. Cannon setup optional. If you have a collection of all-time figures, you can play the battle as it happened. Player 1's army, Raylan the Kiri Warrior. Raylan the Kiri... Okay, both Raylans. That's interesting. Levy attack the Kiri Warrior, Sergeant Drake. Player 2's army, Q11, Shiori, Sonlen. Player 3's army, Taylord, Obsidian Guards. Player 4's army, Mimring, 2 squads of minions. Set up according to canon setup diagram. Special rules. Playing as a team. Roll initiative. Each player rolls 20-sided die as normal. Let's see here. Derek says, or be like me and control the players. Make it a solo experience of a game not designed to be. Exactly. You know, Derek, way back when, like early 2000s, when this game came out, I used to, like, my friend Jason had the Heroscape stuff, and I used to actually do battle scenarios where it's just like, it's like a 2,000-point army against like a 1,000-point army, like a Jandar army against a 2,000-point Ukar army, and I would just spend weeks just like, okay, just doing that type of thing. Wrote up a scenario actually a long time ago based on that. So yeah, you're all right. You're absolutely all right. Dan says, whoa, the Ukar idea is awesome. Like, treat him like a good Marvel character. Yep. But he's canon and playable in normal Heroscape. Absolutely. Abso-freaking-lutely. That I'm just saying. And have, like, some type of bonding with him. Can you imagine an Ukar with some type of bonding? Some type of bonding synergy. Okay, anyway. Alright. I'm getting a little too fanboy here. And it's not even happened. It probably never happened. But Renegade, I'm just saying, if you want loyalty, that would do it. The team with the highest single die roll shares that roll. Teams alternate revealing order markers. When it is time for a team to reveal an order marker, if they have multiple unrevealed order markers with that number, they may choose which player reveals their order marker. Once all order markers with a given number are revealed, the team with the initiative reveals an order marker with the next number in sequence. For example, Dylan and Alex, just throwing names in there, are commanding Ukar's forces. They roll a 17 and 3 on their 27 die. Lee and Rowan, okay, not random names then, are commanding heroes of Valhalla. They roll 15 and 18. The heroes of Valhalla win the initiative with their die roll of 18. Okay. After discussing battle plans with one another, Lee reveals order marker 1 around the Kiri Warrior and takes a turn with Raylan. Then Ukar's forces get a chance to activate. Dylan spots a chance to make a daring attack, so he reveals order marker 1 on Mimring. After Mimring lays down a mighty line of fire, it is Heroes of Valhalla's turn to reveal the other order marker 1. Play continues in this way until all 4 players have revealed their order marker 1s, then repeated order marker 2s, and so on. Ukar's Fortress Key. Player 3 chooses a unique hero. They control the hold the key to the castle gates. Until the holder of the key is destroyed, no figure may move onto, over, or through any spaces marked in the lime green on the map. Interesting. So wait, okay, I gotta scroll over here. Wait, where's that lime green? There's the lime green. Okay, so you can't go in over there. Okay. Okay, gotta do this scrolling over here. Powers of the Alliance. All powers that refer to figures you control now refer to friendly figures. Interesting. Levy Attack, the Curie Warrior's Brutality or special power also affects friendly heroes, but not Levy Attack herself. Interesting. After a unique hero controlled by player 1 and player 2 is destroyed, that player may move any order markers from that hero's army card or cards of any other unique heroes that player controls, so it just gives them a boost. And congratulations, guys. Guess what? 100 messages. Got 100 messages today for just this little stream. You guys rock. Thank you. Thank you so much. Alright. So, Raylan the Curie Warrior does not begin on the battlefield. Oh, okay, I get it. If Raylan the Curie Ukar 1 is destroyed, you may place the Raylan Curie Asian Annihilation Jander 1 on one of the spaces. Oh, these are going to get so confusing. It's like you have so many names of Raylan here. On one of the spaces, Raylan Curie Warrior Ukar had occupied. And actually, I saw like the new Raylan the Curie Warrior, which is Jandar Age of Annihilation. I saw the acronym because the Ukar Raylan is AOA, but there was an acronym on Heroscapers.com for this new Raylan, and I don't understand the meaning of the acronym. I mean, maybe someone can spell it out for me, but I didn't understand it. Okay, cooling lava. Molten lava spaces on this battlefield are counted as type of molten lava space called cooling lava. Each time a figure enters a cooling lava space, it takes 1 wound. Oh, wow. Take a wound right away. If a figure starts to turn on a cooling lava space, roll 1 attack die. Or if a figure starts its turn on a cooling lava space, roll 1 attack die. If the result is a skull, the figure takes 1 wound. So you really want to be careful with... Okay, molten lava. So instead of molten lava, it's cooling lava. So you can get on molten lava and not die, but you're going to take wounds quite frequently. Victory. If Raylan the Curie Warrior ends her turn unengaged and occupying only spaces within the castle courtyard, marked in lime green on the map, before the end of round 6, she makes it to Ukar, and players 1 and 2 win. If Raylan the Curie Warrior, Jandar Age of Annihilation is destroyed, or if she has not made it to Ukar by the end of round 6, players 3 and 4 win. Fun scenario. Interesting way of putting it. I think it's a nice end game type of scenario, but again, having Ukar being in there just as a final boss battle would be fun as well. So that is taking a look at the scenario version of Vengeance for Valhalla Scenario 12. And what, like I said, you get the gang back. So I forget who asked me. I think it was Justin. Was it going to asking me when it comes to animating? That's one thing that I didn't really do for all my animations for Tales of Valhalla, is bringing this gang of Q11, Sonlen, Shiori, Raylan, Drake Alexander, bringing them all back and animate them together fighting. Now, I know Justin isn't in the chat tonight, but it will happen though. I am planning it to happen. Actually, season 4 of Tales of Valhalla, it'll happen there, and it might happen in other animations that I do in the future. So sooner or later, it will happen. Look forward to it. It will be amazing. But that, if I didn't finish saying it, let's take a look at Scenario 12, Vengeance of Valhalla. Again, we'll chalk it up in the record books, and can't wait to play it with my son someday. Maybe friends. We'll see. All right. So let's wind down the stream, guys. It's been 1 hour 35 minutes. And Bill Flint says, surprised it is Raylan that needs to make it and not Levy Attack that needs to make it. Yeah, well, Raylan's kind of like the spearhead for this. Raylan is the spearhead, and Levy Attack is just coming in and dealing the finishing blow. Let's put it that way. But guys, I really appreciate y'all chatting tonight. For those of you who are new here in the chat tonight, I think that's Brennan, Steve, welcome, and thank you so much for joining. Please subscribe, share, like, and really, if you haven't please watch Tales of Valhalla: The Aftermath Chronicles. There is literally hours of stop motion story content from this. And yes, season 1 is a slow burn. It's a slow draw. But it does set up the characters of the Airborne Elite and a couple others. And then season 2 really begins. So I say if you just want to start, you can start with season 2, and I recommend starting at least with the first like several minutes of season 2, because then you get to understand the full storyline of what Tales of Valhalla is all about. Set in the Heroscape universe, but it's not the main canon Heroscape universe, but it's still there's lots of parallels. And Bill Flint says, first time seeing the scenario using multiple box sets. Yeah, you have to like get 2 of them, don't you? Isn't it? Where is it? I have to scroll over here. Yeah. 2 master sets and 2 lava fields. Although I can imagine that you could just get one of the terrain, like the main terrain set pack, and you'd be fine with that probably. But yeah, anyway, check out Tales of Valhalla. Currently, like in pre-production, writing the script for season 4. But seasons 1, 2, and 3 have their own like seasonal arc at the end of season 3, to where everything is closed really nicely for that particular adventure. That's done. Primarily focusing on the Airborne Elite, but there are other characters, lots of other characters. You got your villains, you got your other heroes. So definitely check that out if you have time. I personally think it's great for kids. Bill Flint, it's great to see you, or it's great to talk to you as well. I appreciate you. But again, for this Sunday, so be live, like Brennan asked me when I'm live streaming again. I'll be live streaming this Sunday around 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and I'm gonna put this up to a vote on my Discord and here on YouTube. But I'm thinking of either doing painting, because I still have stuff I gotta paint, and sometimes I do painting streams to where I'm a terrible painter, by the way. I don't think I'm no roguescaper, but I still like to paint because I can't pay everybody to do my paints. I gotta do some of it myself. So we can do a little bit of that, or we can do like me chatting and editing some of my stop motion stuff. There's a couple of like editing that I can be doing with that, or I can do like something in Source Golf, because I have like a proxy version of Source Golf. I have a little bit of source terrain, and for those of you who don't know, source terrain is like a different type of hexagon tile terrain from Adventure Together games, which I have another channel called Tales of the Void, which eventually I'll be doing stories and promotion of their stuff in the future. But Source Golf is turning very quickly into their flagship game. It's a very easy, fun game to do, where you're golfing on hexagon terrain. It's lovely. It's a lot of fun. So that's my ideas for this Sunday. Just making a casual, friendly, conversational stream with y'all this Sunday. So I'll post those options and put it up to a vote for you all on Discord and YouTube. We'll do that. So, but yeah, these scenarios very, very interesting. Very, very interesting scenarios. Like I said, not totally 100% behind a lot of the lore, but at the same time, not 100% against it. It's just, it is what it is. You know, Renegade can do what they want to do with it. Even if I have disagreements, it's okay to have disagreements with it. It will be interesting to see where, you know, this takes us, because again, the wellspring water, like the wellspring poisoning, that's not resolved. That arc is not resolved. The pirates, who's the pirates leader? Is there a leader? That's not resolved yet. There's a lot of things still not resolved. This is actually like Ukar being decimated. It's like a whole new thing altogether. It's like, oh, where did this come from? You know, just in the last couple scenarios, it's like, oh, okay, I guess this was kind of building up. So we've taken care of this arc, and that just leads to a whole other kettle of fish, because, okay, Levy attacks leadership, where does that go? We'll see. I see it like splintering like the Empire in Star Wars main canon Legends, or or original canon legends, to where they just splinter into their old Ugar factions. But we'll see. Alright, but I do appreciate everybody for watching. I think I've talked enough. And again, I can't get to everybody's names, but thank you everybody who dropped in the chat tonight. Hopefully I'll see you Sunday. You have a purpose in your life. Find it, pursue it, live it, and we'll see all of you next time. Later now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Steve. Hopefully we'll see you Sunday too. Later now.